Hi.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Christian.
Hey, how are you, Mish?
Great. I think this might be the first time we've ever actually been face to face.
Yes, very exciting. You're one of my favorite follows on Twitter or X, whatever you call it these days. So,
I was going
looking.
to say the same about you. And of course, you guys, love you guys. It's been how many years have we been talking together, Joel and Dennis? Oh my God, long.
A lot of years you've been coming on, Mish. Like, we've been doing this show, I believe this is our 11th year, and you were one right near the beginning with us
Yeah.
here. So probably getting close to 10 years, Mish, you've been coming on the show. So thank you very much for all the excellent market commentary that you've given us.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for supporting me through all these years. And Christian, are you now part of the show or should I not be asking that question?
Until
I
these
think
guys
he's
kick me
officially part of
off,
the team.
I'm on double probation right now. So as long as
Okay, community service.
yeah.
No, Chris is going to be, he's joined us here since November, and
Oh,
he's
cool.
he's going to be continuing on with us. Mish Schneider, Chief Market Strategist over there at Market Gauge. But before we get to your 2025 picks, and this is like a holiday show, one reason that you're one of my favorite guests is because we have something in common. And we were both on the floor. Well, I
Yes.
wasn't. You're at the Comex. We always go for floor stories. I haven't asked you one in a while. Do you?
You're not going to ask her if she worked with Lisa Sue, are you?
No, I did. No.
Dennis, you're lucky you're not with me right now, because I would like flip you upside down. I'm telling you, I'm right on this. You better take that back. But anyways, go ahead. You got one good floor story for us?
Oh my God, you should have prepped me for this because I had 14 years there. So I have to like zoom in on a story I haven't already told. Let me see.
I don't think you've told one in a while. How about the meanest someone was to you in the pit?
Oh, well, there may be some X-rated comments I have to leave out here. But actually, it was a day kind of like this would be, half a day, hardly anybody there, guys sitting around the pit. This was actually in NYMEX, not in COMEX. And everybody's going to go, what do we do now? What do you do now? And this guy, and he was a pretty high up in terms of, he was like a managing guy in the whole NYMEX situation. So it was shocking. Said, I know we can have Mish give us all fill the blanks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
That was horrible. That was the most horrible thing that ever happened in 14 years. And I left the pit crying, and I actually had quite a few friends there. So this one guy in particular was about 6'7", trader in the pit, came running after me, and he said, do you want me to beat him up? And I said, no. And I kind of got myself together and went back. But yeah, otherwise it was usually just love. I had a great time down there.
Was it Greg Weldon, the 6'7" trader?
No, oh God, his name, I have to think, it'll come to me. Jack. His name was Jack.
Did that person get written up?
No, I never took him to, I just let it go. When you're one of the few females, you really have to pick your battles. And everybody was really mortified by it. There was no need to take it any further.
Boy, oh boy. And I thought there were scumbags at the Merc. I mean, holy mackerel. But, all right, let's get into 2025. And what was the year of the Dragon? Was that 23?
No, that was 24. We're coming in the year of the Dragon. We're going into the Snake. And and a lot of people don't talk about this. This is one of the reasons why I love talking about this, because it's been very insightful through the years. I mean, not only do you have like the animal itself and what that could possibly mean, not just for yourself personally, like if you were born the year of the Snake, there's certain things that you should know about, things that might have tendencies to help protect you, or things that you might get very well. Generally, the Chinese view the year of the Snake as a very prosperous year. It's also a wood snake and a yin versus yang, which means the last time we had a year of a wood yin snake was 1965. And that also is, you talked about Hirsch there before, and I know he's coming on. Well, one of the things that he talked about in his book, the dad, not Jeffrey, was the number 5, right? So you've got mid-decade, the last 13 to 14 decades, starting from 1885, have been up years. And 1965 was an up year as well. So basically, though, it was a downturn in the beginning of the year, and it came back at the end of the year for minor gains. And I think if you put that all together, and I'm sort of speed talking here, but if you put that all together, really basically what you can see here is probably what's going to evolve. Is we may say have some shakiness for the first half of the year, but we also could have a Fed pivot potentially, which could guide us up and end maybe with 3-4% gains by the end of the year. And that's kind of like all fits with the Chinese astrology, with the Case-Shiller, and with the number 5 theory.
What about inflation?
Well, that's always an X factor. I think that we'll continue to see pockets of inflation in certain areas. I think food is certainly something we have to keep an eye on because of not only geopolitics and weather, but also what happens with some policies in terms of tariffs. Will we have labor issues because of deportation? Or are we going to have some kind of global recession? We don't know yet, but I definitely would not dismiss inflation because it stayed sticky. I mean, our own Jerome Powell was like all about it, which I thought was kind of bizarre because he didn't talk data dependent this time. He talked strictly about his fear of inflation, and that's why he was going to kind of, what do they call that, a hawkish cut. So yeah, but let's make it simple, Joel. Right? What do we look at for inflation? Number one, we look at how the silver relates to the gold. Right now, gold is still outperforming silver, not a big concern. 2, we look at the dollar. Well, the dollar's over 108, not too concerning. Starts breaking down under 108. Maybe we start paying attention. And 3rd, if we want to talk about food, we can simply look at one food item, sugar. And right now, sugar is still holding up. But if it fails, then I think we can sort of put that aside. If it breaks out over, let's say, 22, 23 cents, I think we've got concerns. So I just kind of watch that as my best indication for inflation.
Mish, let's talk EVs. 2024 was not the year of EV. Tesla did well, but so many other companies struggled with it. We actually saw Ford backing off. They're going more hybrids, some of the big 3 backing off from EVs. Lithium stocks didn't perform well. It wasn't the year. Does 2025 change things? Is 2025 the year of EV? Do these stocks start to make a comeback? Or is now just the hybrid the new way to go?
Well, I think that it could make a comeback, and here's why. But not every company, by the way. I think you have to be very selective, which is why I've sort of been picking on Rivian, because Rivian has had some really great fundamentals lately in terms of money they've gotten from the government, in terms of their deal with Volkswagen. I know that they're trying to come out with a smaller, cheaper version of their car. Car and Driver magazine gave them amazing reviews. And everything is made in America. And I think that's going to be the key. What's so interesting about what Musk said recently is that 99% of the people who drive EVs never go back to a gas car. And if they're going to be more competitively priced, and the tax credit could or could not be a factor, we'll see what happens, what Trump does with that. But I do believe that, and Musk believes the same thing, that eventually gas cars will be the way of the dinosaur. Hybrid may stick around for a while as there's still an infrastructure issue with EVs. I know where we live, we get out of Santa Fe and Albuquerque. You don't want to go driving on an EV where you may not be able to find a place to charge. That'll change in time. So I think we have really good low prices here. If you're looking at something like Rivian at trading between, let's say, $13 and $15, we get out of that range. I don't see any reason why we can't have a decent move there up in 2025.
Would you touch any other ones like Lucid and some of the smaller ones, or are you just sticking with Rivian?
I'm just sticking with Tesla. Of course, hey, Dennis, did we not talk about Tesla last time I was on?
We have, and Tesla's been unbelievable. I mean, it feels a little bit overdone at this point in time, just short term, but the story here is not going away.
No, definitely not. I mean, it's got everything hitting it, right? It's a Musk stock. It also gives us a little bit of insight into what might happen with China and whether or not Trump is going to be as tough as he says. It's an EV, it's got the software. And by the way, Rivian can use Tesla charging stations. Just thought that was good too.
What about other stocks in 2025? We're kind of going into your preview here, 2025.
I got so many. Right. So I'm looking at your comments. Usually I don't put them up, but people are asking me about coffee. Yeah, I mean, these are things that already made explosive moves, right? Coffee, orange juice, cocoa, so I think you have to watch the sugar in the commodity space. And let's talk about gold and silver. I'm not giving up on them. I still think they have another hurrah. They're not done. So I think as long as silver holds about $27 an ounce, I don't see any reason why it can't get to 50. And we don't even have to go through the reasons why. Gold holding over 2,600, maybe it struggles a little bit to get over 28, but if it does, could it go to 3,000? Absolutely. Moving on to other areas, you cannot dismiss the AI situation. It's going to continue. I'm just broadening out a little bit more into some other areas of AI, which is why, by the way, Ulta, we've talked about Ulta, right? The vanity trade. Ulta looks really good on the chart right here. And now they're doing AI where you can get an image of yourself that looks exactly like you. And then you can put out different hairstyles, different colors, different makeup. This is that we to me sort of trend. I think you keep looking in that space. I think quantum physics looks good. I have Kratos on my list. I have IBM on my list. Obviously, Google is probably the kingpin of all of that. What else?
Mish, you mentioned, I saw you mention on Twitter, Chewy as a retail pick. And you also mentioned, you're going through, you mentioned Ulta as well, about the retail stocks, and the XRT chart really surprises me. You mentioned that you've got a couple names in there that you're looking at. Chewy's one of them. Yeah.
So I'm so glad, Christian, you brought up XRT, because last time I was on, Dennis and Mitch and I talked about the idea of the fact that it had been in this 11-month consolidation between 70 and 80, and it broke out, right? But then, of course, we've had this massive correction, but look where it's correcting to. It's really kind of holding between 79 and 80. So just at that ETF, with the January effect, and everybody's got a different way to look at it. I saw Hirsch looks at 5 days. Some people look at 1 day. We look at 10 days, 10 trading days. If we break out of that range, I think you got to go in. And in that XRT space, Chewy is definitely probably one of my top, because Chewy almost is a recession-proof type of situation. People will always take care of their pets, no matter what the economic condition. But they've also made some great changes in the company. They are getting more into veterinarian practice. They're getting more into pharmaceuticals for pets. Yeah, they're expanding. I mean, and they are known to be the #1 customer service online for pet products. So I think at, what's it trading about, $34? That stock seems cheap to me. And I would continue to look, like I said, at some of those stocks that could benefit from the vanity trade, whether it's going to be something like Urban Outfitters, because as people start to look more towards athletic wear, more skincare, and beauty, like that's why I like Ulta, I still like Elf. So those are all kind of trading within that space.
Mish, real quick, just to XRT. I mean, I was on with you on October 28th. I put the Mish rate in here on the monthlies. Remember that?
I do.
Yes. Yep. That's the date, October 28th. I'm going to start doing that more. That's another New Year's resolution. And boom, you popped up. You made a double top on the monthly. Now you're coming back down to support here. So you talk about old resistance, new support. There you go. There's a nice setup for you at XRT. Mish, we only got a few minutes left here, but let's talk about the modern family here. And we really had some sectors misbehaving.
Yes.
We really did. They were naughty, and they're probably not going to get any Christmas gifts. Let's talk about a few of those and the prospects for them in 2025.
Right. Well, the report that we're referring to, by the way, is going to be available, and you'll be able to look at charts. And there's a 23 and an 80-month chart, right? So everything except for KRE really has set up well in terms of those charts. So let's talk about Grams, right, which is our small caps. You just mentioned Grandma, XRT. So important. I mean, that's really got to hold up. There's your indicator, Joel. If it holds 79.80, starts rallying and gets through that 85, close your eyes and jump in, right? That's been the expression. With IWM right now, Some people are in the camp that they don't matter and it's all about the Mag 7 and what they do. I'd say I agree with that to a degree, but small caps have to stay in the game. And right now, they also may have a massive double top, not monthly, but from 2021 to 2024. You know, if they hold 217, great. It got right there, and they start to move up, great. They get through 245, unbelievable. Could chop around for a while, but you don't want to see them break down. Transportation already broke down. That has to really hang in there right now, because that, what does that say? I mean, you know, there's still a theory about Dow, you know, being obviously transportation. And we know we had some news with FedEx. They broke up into their freight company and others. So, you know, we're seeing some struggles there. Semiconductors, though, right now she's coming back. My sister Semiconductors gets through 260 in SMH. That looks good. That tells you it's all still going to be all about growth, but how much do we have? We'll have to look at earnings in the first quarter. Who did I leave out? KRE, I think could also spell some trouble. We got to watch there. People think the banking and the financials could do really great in 2025. You got to watch those regionals. And of course, my dear little brother, biotechnology.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
I know, but you know what? 130 is such massive support. I haven't given up yet. That's the, you know, that's the, talk about the dogs of the Dow. That's been a dog. But, you know, RFK Jr. put a big kibosh on it because everybody got scared. But I wouldn't worry about that too much. I would keep my eye on that space because it could surprise. And I left out one other member, Bitcoin. And that's really interesting because I didn't expect it to break 95. So 95.89 right now, massive support. Or that could surprise if that breaks down. Otherwise, you know, we could still see another rocket ship in January if it hangs in there.
Okay, Mish Schneider, Chief Market Strategist at Market Gauge, a longtime guest on the show. Mish, you covered a lot of stuff here. We appreciate it. I know you have a busy media day. I'm glad you started out with the best and the brightest, and we'll be dialing you up again in January. Thanks, Mish.
Oh, thank you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you all. I look forward to 2025, and thank you.
Thanks, Mish.